Hello, boys and girls. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me get this show on the road. I'm a bit not sure what's going on in terms of my YouTube. It's kind of working, not working. Half cooperating with me, half not. I think I see the chat. I think everything is working. I think. All right. So, boys and girls, let's get into this. Yeah, I see the chat. Everything is running. Actually, I'm not seeing the current one, but eh, eh. It's kind of annoying. Give me a sec. I'm gonna get myself situated. Sorry. Hope everybody's doing well, better than me for sure. It's not that difficult. I'm not gonna lie, actually, today was rather quiet compared to other days. Today was rather quiet. Although we did have the very unfortunate event of, I think, 8 and more soldiers got killed in Lebanon. So, all in all, still an unpleasant day. For now, just to be 100% clear, we're having kind of a boring day. It's a nothing burger still. As you can see, we're still moving within the same sort of smaller range that we were moving in yesterday, so not a big change all in all. Right now, on the 1 minute, it looks like it's getting more bearish. Well, rather sooner more bearish than not means probably meeting that 556.87, so dropping maybe a little bit more, maybe testing some of these intermediate levels that we were testing earlier. We're starting to see a bit of a switch over here, at least on the 5 minutes, from an uptrend to a downtrend, from a longer duration, from a shorter duration to a longer duration, basically sort of transitioning in terms of support and resistance, the ones that we are currently respecting. Momentum here is a little bit, it's technically speaking, so it's bearish at face value because we're in oversold territory, but we are also K dominant. That means sort of mitigated downwards effect. Once this gives and we have convergence and bearish momentum is dominant, we will be proceeding downwards. That's in a shorter time frame. Now the 30 minutes is actually rather bearish. That's quite interesting what we're getting here. Very rhythmic, very just accurate, almost robotic in nature behavior from the market. Hello. Yeah, Casey, Thomas, Lucas, Gene, Joe, Christoph, Gene, K. Oh, you did the thing. K, you did the thing. You goddamn legend, K. Thank you so much. You are an awesome. From now on, I'm gonna just call you Agent K. No, that's gonna be Agent K. Hello, Judy. Hello. Hi. Nannies, of course, my legendary moderator, like no one else. Christoph, no offense. Nannies is still, legendary. Hello, Chobi. Hello. Good to see you. Okay, you goddamn legend. I appreciate you making the effort so much. This is a big deal. I really appreciate that. So again, at 30 minutes, it's very rhythmic, very boring. I'm not all that surprised. We've seen this on both, well, all the 30 minutes, the 45 minutes, the hour time frame. We've seen the market being rather tame and kind of boring. So glad you're safe. Thank you, Judy. I am as safe as I can be, relatively speaking. I'll talk about that a little later. Those who wanna maybe know and inquire and interested in all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I am relatively safe. We got, so this is actually a good example. This is one of those examples I was trying to use prior and show you how we transition into a downwards trend and becomes this almost stepping stone cannot draw to save my own life. This stepping stone process that we're sort of, you can see the narrative being built also in the indicator on the stochastic RSI. The thing is, you're like, well, Greg, if this is going down, but this is rather flat, sure. That's exactly the how the curve basically flattens, if you will. Okay, so basically we build up a lot of momentum, and to stop all that momentum, and this is actually a good example how I was trying to emphasize how these trends are very important, and we basically end up moving from one end to the other regardless of slippage. It's like the momentum is being retained. It's like a spiral that is winding down, if you will. If those who are more attentive can kind of recognize that all along, as we were moving between the larger time frame, but basically switching over from here to here, we were kind of winding down and almost like narrowing, right, into this channel, although having slippages, of course, we can say even this way. So just kind of having slippage. At the end of the day, we narrow into this channel. But we also now start to see that we're also breaking down. Does that mean that we're going to get out of the channel? Does that mean we break it altogether? Remember, we emphasized how we have higher resistances around 5800, 5809 that potentially are going to be met. And the trend, at least this 1 hourly trend, both of them, right, the shorter term and the larger term, are actually pointing to the upside, while our indicator is pointing to the downside. How does that come through? The beauty, we can see how the market is about to hit that ceiling, that supposed resistance, by slowing down the momentum. Remember, that bullish momentum that you saw also appears to you in that linear form. So what we're starting to see is, again, breakage of the momentum. Does that mean that's it? It's all completely broken down and done for, right? The same way we're starting to see similarities here. But if you zoom out, you realize these smaller procedures that we're seeing inside are basically part of a larger procedure that is also very similar, right? We're seeing that flattening of the curve, basically from going very, very steep to flattening. And this is the same thing that sort of the structure of the impulses on a larger scale of things, if we're objectively looking at them on a larger time frame. So this is similar, or the equivalent of being zoomed in with your microscope on something, on a cell. So that way we're kind of, when we're looking at the market this way, we're basically too zoomed in, and you need to learn how to zoom out and see what the market is actually doing. From this point of view, you can actually see how the market is slowly coming to a sort of, how the curve is going from being very steep to very flat, almost just kind of curving to the downside slowly. I hope you guys are not hearing too much of the noise in the background. I'm gonna, if need be, I'm gonna close the window here. Give me a sec, boys and girls. Give me a sec. I'm gonna actually close the window. I think there's too much noise coming through. All right. I hope now we're gonna be a little bit more quiet. Now that everything is closed. All right. So what we're seeing here on the 4-hourly chart is actually, again, very indicative of a downtrend. That's that same thing that we are seeing on the smaller time frames building up, right? We said oftentimes we will see, for example, this procedure internally is not going to be as severe in terms of the actual downtrend until we hit the bottom. And that's actually something we've been speaking about, I think, throughout the last week quite a bit, how we're preparing for the market to actually get at least that 4-hourly chart to move into oversold territory, actually amplifying and showing us the downtrend. The downtrend, at least on this current channel as it is, potentially, let me just, again, I forgot I was about to clean all that noise up. Right? So what we can see from this chart, basically this oversold territory potentially will allow us to drop back down to the bottom of the trend. Unsurprisingly so, we're seeing SMA simple moving average creeping from below, kind of giving us this juncture of, again, 555. I'm assuming that's what we're really looking at here, the 555.55. I just have it slightly off. That 5555 and 42, it's supposed to be 55 as well. We know exactly that one thing. So weirdly enough, we're kind of seeing these all these forces align into a singular juncture. So it's not going to be all that surprising to expect the market to actually get stopped within that vicinity, right? This is again just my assessment based upon the momentum that we're seeing and based upon the structure of the current price action. We're already starting to see that backwards movement. No more so, let's not forget we have quite a significant gap right here that we do expect, at least in the short term, to close right here, bringing us closer. There are usually several channels within the main channel, of course, as I showed you before, bringing us lower to this end, correcting towards this location. Okay, and that's kind of what we are expecting. Let me just clean it up on the go, so we're not gonna remain with all of that noise right there. So we're looking at that juncture of the 55 area, at least based upon the 4-hour chart. As we said before, the 4-hour and the daily are highly related, right? So let's look at how the 4-hour and the daily are basically related. Unsurprisingly so, we're seeing very similar channel but far more extended, right? What we're seeing here is the potential of that 55 which we saw as being the bottom of the channel, and I tried to imply to you similarly how the larger channel is the mid area of this, so the smaller channel, sorry, the 4-hourly bottom is the median between this individual lane. Similarly so, the 4-hourly breaks down as well into sort of partitions, if that makes sense. So you end up having several, basically you're having an upwards trend that is layered from several layers like a cake. Okay, I hope those of you who are not students of mine are being attentive, because this is premium stuff right there. And on the daily chart, unsurprisingly so, as we said and predicted, we're going to see the breakdown of that momentum. Unsurprisingly so, we're starting to see that come through in the actual price action. And the deeper we're going to go into the body of the stochastic RSI, slowly reaching into oversold. Basically, the most accelerated momentum, the strongest momentum on the downtrend will be somewhere around this area, the transition from the body in below the 20% on the stochastic RSI, moving us actually into oversold territory. In oversold territory, this is really when we see that bearish momentum. The problem with that bearish momentum, as it appears at least on this structure, which is, as we said, larger than the 4-hourly, we can actually go lower. Remember these supports and resistances, that main channel we looked upon before, it's a part of a couple of gaps. So these several forces, including the 555, those who remember, basically shows us that no, that bearish momentum that we're seeing in the barrel already is far worse. For example, if you're attentive, our SMA based upon, again, because it's a moving average based upon on larger movements inherently because we're on the daily, actually is creeping from far lower, right, from below. Let's actually make it a little bit more visible. I know that's the line thing. Let's make it this way so you guys can see it better. Let's make it this color maybe, or that way. Yeah, I think that way is gonna be what is going to be. Is that the best sort of thing, or maybe purple? Let's make it purple. All right, so we have that moving average that inherently is also lower. Remember, notice our SMA simple moving average was around the 55 creeping up from below. This was a larger time frame. Inherently, the moving average, as implies it's a moving average, right? It moves, so it creeps up as well as on the previous time frame based upon the movement as well. But as you can imagine, based upon the larger movements and adjusted candlesticks on a larger time frame, it's also going to be lower because the average will change, right? So that puts us, actually gives us our support on that transition, which we know we've been respecting for quite a while as we were going. You can see it right here. At around 5360 right now. All right, so, and based upon the supports and resistances we know, based upon the gaps and everything, we actually see that we have a lower support there. So that kind of gives us an idea, based upon what we saw, that we're going to have some form of a downtrend, correction to the upside, which sort of makes sense, and then another movement to the downside. We're starting to build this limb. Again, it's going to be partitioned, very similarly to how we have most of these limbs end up happening, similarly to how you have this even. All of these processes are oftentimes broken down. We might even have that process go as far high as this, all right? So this is kind of what we're seeing based upon the smaller time frames and all the way up to the daily. Now here's the real fun starts, because a lot of the things we're going to be looking at right now, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I want to keep it visible to us. I just want to get rid of some of the drawings, right? Some of that brush stuff. So the thing with, oh, that was a mistake as well. The thing we really want to be attentive to is the larger time frames. The larger time frames are that's something that we were waiting to flip over for quite a while, right? To actually give us an indication whether we're seeing an overarching, as I'm predicting, downtrend or uptrend. So again, nothing has changed a lot since yesterday, as you can imagine, but those who have not been on the live yesterday at least will be up to speed. You see, not always we're going to be able to drag out that entire momentum reaching the resistance of the actual channel. And the more the momentum starts to break, this is also indication within itself that we're no longer having enough momentum to basically reach all the way to the sky. And slowly but surely, again, you're seeing that same structure that we saw earlier on the smaller time frames, that flattening of the curve, right? So basically you have that curve that is supposed to be structured this way, and if you are that bell curve, of course, but this uptrend, that steep transition into the flattening, is part of that correction. Remember, those are multiple bell curves basically that we are having in the market, slowly bringing us to the upside. That's why we are believing that the market naturally is far more bullish than bearish. Regardless of, it has to have these processes of correction, for example, right? So the weekly didn't really change. It didn't really readjust a lot. So it didn't really give us any indication on what's going on. But what does that look like? That looks like we're slowly transitioning back. As I told you, this is not going to be a real upwards trend. It's more of that fake out, right? And why do we think that? Why do we think the trend is in reality actually bearish? Because if we look objectively on the monthly, we realize that exactly that thing that we've been predicting, the convergence of the forces, and we're slowly becoming more bearish, and actually we're starting to see that in the price action. The real question becomes whether this is finally the moment where we start to have that correction to the downside, or are we basically continuing that flag formation? My argument that we're going to the downside. Why? Again, we're going to have that confusing 3 months that we're very well familiar with, but you can see the 3 months is slowly moving towards each other. The forces are moving towards each other, which, yes, could be indicative of a switchover, but not necessarily. The real problem comes in, again, 6 months sketchy, because 6 months sort of expands that structure on the 3 months, and we're basically seeing this, but on a far smaller scale. Here it is, that little chupchik. But the real problem is, the visibility of the real problem is the 12 months. So we know the market currently is more bearish than bullish, but we'll have to take a long time to see that. So this is kind of, because we're struggling with the 6 and the 3 months, we can really see it on overarching structure right here on the monthly. Why? Because if we say we can predict up to several candlesticks potentially based upon the structure, think about it. 3 candlesticks in the monthly is a quarter. 6 candlesticks is a half year. So you can kind of see, based upon the structure, that even if the duration, the half year, brings us to the bottom of the channel, the median, right, which is the bottom of the current channel we're in, that slowly brings us to around, 5,100 or 5,200. And as we say, nothing in the market is linear, so we can expect more or less sort of this procedure, right? And that brings us closer to these ranges that I spoke about, and we'll see whether we're actually going to end up having some form of a larger head and shoulders structure here, which is internal. Sadly, guys, you need to know harmonics to understand them in depth, to understand really what we're having here is a far overarching structure, and this hyper focus on the head and shoulders is also wrong in a way, because everything is far small. Those are smaller structure within larger structures that you need to be familiar with, and if you're not, you have no context to understand what it is that I'm trying to emphasize here. That's why you're kind of forced to follow up as we go. Yeah, that's kind of the situation with that. So now that we ran through all the time frames and broke down our expectation to those who are not familiar or new here, Nannies, this is the 555, as I said this before, and we spoke about this in depth on Discord, and I said this again and again and again. I know it's hard for people to perceive as the market is inching higher and higher slowly, but we said this is also something that can happen. Not every drawdown will be as deep, right? We can potentially recognize when the drawdowns will start happening, and I was objective all along. Once we started seeing bullish days, I was saying, guys, girls, it is what it is. Those who are looking for the Qs, the triple Qs, of course, celebrate on that instead of being crying. Be smart about it the same way we recommend about any asset, pretty much. It follows the same principle. Those are principles, not just how we behave around particular assets. But it doesn't change the overarching sort of picture of things, right? If you go closer to a painting and you no longer see the details of the painting, but you're only seeing, one individual color because you're far too close, that doesn't change the fact of the reality that the painting is whatever it is, right? Focus on the grand scheme of things, on the big picture. Make sure to know how to sort of step back, look at what the market is actually doing, and don't get too preoccupied with the day-to-day minutia. Okay. Right. Let's go to the chat a little bit. Yeah. So about me being safe, boys and girls, everybody here are about the same level of safety. In reality, there's a reason why we had to go to the shelter yesterday. Today we didn't have to go. But I have to say that those who heard me before, after such days, it just squeezes your energy. It's almost like you go into fight or flight mode when these sort of events erupt, and the amount of rockets yesterday was staggering, and they were very close. We could hear being in the shelter, even with the echo and the way the noise is distorted, we could still hear how close everything was, and it was very, very close. You can see the footage. In fact, at first I thought maybe I'm gonna go throw my phone somewhere, on the lawn in front of the building to record some of these things so you guys can see, or maybe put it on live. But then I realized I don't even want to risk it, because once I sort of got closer to the shelter, I realized things are already going off, and I don't want to go out there. So safety is a very relative thing. The Iron Dome was able to stop most rockets as far as I understand, but I'm not sure about the claim about the 99. Maybe, naturally speaking, it is around the 99, but I think it was overwhelmed at some point, and I think we're talking about like 80 something percent that got stopped, but a lot of them have fallen. Some in open areas, some people did get injured, some people got killed as far as I understand. Like the whole event was very, very unfortunate, so it kind of goes to show how unsafe Israel currently is, and it doesn't really matter whether, where you're at, you can get injured everywhere, so, we all have to listen to these precautions and run to shelters. It was very unpleasant, gotta admit. So safety is a very relative thing here. Michaels, Judy, all of you guys who are asking. I gotta say though, the whole thing, hanging out with you and just doing everything, the communal thing really helps. It really does, because those who don't know, I had my pet that been with me for like 14 or 15 years. My cat passed away the other day, and was very, very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. It's I wasn't really. I mean, no one can be really prepared for that sort of thing. It really wasn't ready for this. But then again, I guess everything, the events and everything that sort of transpired post that, and the community and you guys being here and just being able to vent to you guys, I guess, is pretty awesome and really helps. So it was quite a good distraction for me, I guess, in a way. Yeah, we can do some tickers today, sure, why not? I think we've done ExxonMobil just the other day. ExxonMobil seems like they're gonna follow energy, obviously, which we expect to go up. A lot of people saying oil is reacting to the Middle East tensions. I think that's not enough of a reaction to say that to really blame it on the Middle East. The market was sort of, you know, looking to go sorry to go up anyways with regards to energy, so I wouldn't necessarily blame it on the Middle East tensions. We have the docks, the docks disruptions right now. So we have that going on, maybe that having some carryover effect on energy in some form or way as well. Could potentially be, but very unlikely. I think what we're seeing is just a regular trading. So, but overall, as we said, oil and energy seems to be more bullish than bearish. We're kind of already squeezing the bearish momentum already, and that was a forced impulse. We spoke about this before because of that reserve of 6% was found not far away from Kuwait. The market seems to be far more bearish than bullish, far more bullish than bearish. Sorry, on energy. So I believe Exxon will benefit from that as well. We can look at Exxon individually, sure, why not? But I often prefer to go to the source rather than the asset. Make of NVIDIA. I looked at NVIDIA earlier. There's not much to say about it. We know where the supports are. We know we basically are right above that 118 that we spoke about earlier, right? Where we're familiar with all the supports. 115, 118, which coincidentally matches up with the bottom of the channel. If you're attentive, we are moving in a channel currently, right? It seems to be bullish at face value. But we know things are not that simple, and right now it seems like the momentum is preparing to break back down to the trio of supports and resistances that we are actually moving towards. You need to be attentive, and you need to notice that what's going on is a movement to the downside, correction, movement to the downside, correction, but we are gathering momentum, right, to strike downwards. Here it is. You can see it clearly. Yes, it might mean a couple of more impulses right here around 110, 115. It doesn't mean we're completely out. But here, why the reason we spoke about these supports is because we're already seeing the transition. Nothing has changed, guys. I'm sorry to be annoying like that and to sound as if I'm getting annoyed, but I'm not. I really am not. But it almost comes through as if you're hoping I'm going to change the prediction. That's not how it works. Those of you who study technical analysis with me understand that these structures are longer. They're what you are end up being sort of caught up and hyper focused are in these in-betweens, right? Even this within itself is an in-between process just to actually be able to go lower. And we know the market seems like it's getting prepared to go lower. So if the market is going to go lower, we know that the assets that are highly related to the indices are unsurprisingly so getting prepared to go lower as well. It's almost like the structure inherently gonna bring about the structure of the momentum, and if the structures are similar, let alone it makes sense that they're highly correlated to one another, we're gonna end up with a similar sort of direction, right? It all makes sense. If you think about it, it is all related to one another, right? Let's clean that. Oh, here's our Mr. Poo-poo. Whatever, forgot his name. So our supports and resistances are still as was presented. We still have the 118 to break out of that current trend that we're in towards 115, 110, which we know is S1, part of the trio that we're going to break into. We're already transitioning into S1. S2 is going to be $100 flat. And S3 is basically the range between 91.68, call it 92, and for the convenience 87, so let's make it 86. You have basically a range here that is that range you should be classifying as S3. Nothing has changed. Those are still our trio of supports and resistances on our way to the downside. All right. that is that. Mm, 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 mm. And looking ahead back, Adam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're not far off. Yes, nannies, thank you very much. Boys and girls, the best way to join us on in the community on Discord, to hang out with me a little bit more, although lately in the last couple of weeks I have less time, and with all the occurrences and everything, sadly, I'm just kind of jumping in on the in-betweens when I'm not dying or running away from rockets or dead asleep at some point or grieving or some other shit. Sorry for the being real, but yeah, I try to hang out in the community, of course, with in the open forum with the members. That's the best way to get on there, is to join our Patreon. Don't forget to join Discord. That way you end up in the members chat. Let yourself recover from all these stressful events. That actually helps me. Hanging out with you boys and girls here really helps me. It sort of keeps me occupied because my brain is very restless, and it's the same way I often admit I can be quite intense for other people in terms of how quickly I can end up either speaking or trying to convey a point or something of that sort. uh, I'm very intense internally as well, especially the more time I get too much quiet. And that way, when I hang out with you boys and girls, it's a little bit more fun. And yeah, I kind of enjoy, and it does really help. Yeah, sure. No, let's do that. I need to do Exxon Mobil first. I kind of forgot right there. Who asked me for Exxon? Lucas. Yeah, Lucas. I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot. Don't hate on me, brother. Let's do you. Let's do you Exxon Mobil. Exxon Mobil. Here you are. Exxon Mobil. Why are you not marked? You're supposed to be blue like that. Exxon Mobil. Exxon, right. Yeah, well, hold on. Nannies, just give me a sec. We're gonna do Exxon Mobil for Lucas, and we're gonna continue. So ExxonMobil, what do we see on that front? Yeah, we think energy. We think energy. That is our kind of our mindset right now. Oh, I'm looking next. So sorry. Right, forgot. We're thinking energy. Yeah, you're looking like you're having more upside. As I said, look on the monthly, it looks pretty decent, although you're probably going to have some form of entanglement right here. I'm already suspecting. Yeah, here it is. You're going to have some noise. So it's not going to be straightforward, but you're more bullish than bearish on ExxonMobil. Makes sense. Currently, temporarily, you are having noise. You are kind of taking a beat down on your bear. Sort of, you are bullish, right? But you're entangled. So, but, come on. Yeah, you're bullish. Look, energy is bullish. That is the true reality of most energy related assets. As I said, you're bullish. Even if you're going to have some entanglement, that's not necessarily going to be visible. In the yearly, it's probably going to be something akin to this, as we said, right? It's not going to be straightforward. You're going to have some ups and downs, right? It's going to retest some of the internal levels, probably. You might see if, it's going to be psychological 100, obviously. Don't forget, you have psychological 100 still in these ranges, right? You have psychological 100. Yeah, here it is, obviously. You have 90, 80. Yeah. So you're probably still going to be testing some of these levels internally. Even if you're going to be making your way to 130, you're going to be breaking back down to 100. So there is some movement, there is some volatility ahead of you, but all in all, it's going to end up being rather bullish for you. I think the way we see energy right now, again, as you know, as we say, not financial advice, but currently with the basis to why and the actual asset itself, it seems a lot more bullish than bearish. So yeah, that's ExxonMobil for you. All right. Lucas, I hope you're good now. Okay. Gene, my brother. Wait. What? Judy? What? What is that? Is that a ticker? No, I don't. What is that? Is that supposed to be something? What? Judy, you're confusing me. I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it is. No, it's not. That's some word I don't understand. Okay, I'm confused. Sorry. Siri, Sirius. Okay. Nannies, let's do Siri. What is that? There is no ticker like that. I'm not familiar. There is no such ticker. What language is that, Judy? You're confusing me. Right. So, yeah, that's not gonna look good. Yeah, that's not gonna look good. Okay, so Siri is actually more bearish than bullish. What country is that from? What is that? What is that? Is that some alien ticker? Oh, why did I wrote it incorrectly? OTC over the counter. No. No, Judy. No, we don't do over the counter. Over the counter is not good. Ah, Rolls Royce. Right. Stupid me. My brain is still locked in on Rolls Royce being RR for some reason. It's stupid. I'm locked in with right. Rolls Royce. Shit. Rolls Royce is. Wait, that's the derivative. That's problematic. That's problematic. I'll tell you why. Judy. Why not the actual Rolls? The question is, why not the actual Rolls Royce? That's the real question. You know what I mean? I mean, let's look at the derivative. Actually, wait. Let's do... No, I need... What am I gonna sacrifice? Let's just sacrifice this. Rolls Royce. Right, let's look at this. So we said... let's go to the source, we said. Let's go to the source. We actually have in the community, Judy, we have somebody who used to work at Rolls-Royce. There is a reason why we do like them. But for now, that looks not great for you. Yeah, Judy, this is Rolls-Royce. Look, Rolls-Royce, even if they can squeeze, you know what the premise of why we think Rolls-Royce? Because they are involved in building nuclear reactors, which we think that with the current future, we are far from done with, and Rolls-Royce are a leading company in that sphere. So there is the energy factor in it. And I think you should probably speak to a member of ours whose name is Danny. Danny is very knowledgeable. That's a different Danny from what we have here. Danny is a British member of ours. He worked at Rolls-Royce. He is very knowledgeable, and I think you should speak to him to understand the story why, yes, with Rolls-Royce on the longer sort of, time frame, right? If you truly seek to be an investor and not look to trade, this is Rolls-Royce is not something you trade. You can maybe trade your derivative, right, because of how cheap it is. So it's like a good play. but I would try and avoid that, because you get caught up and mixed in with the structure and just you get lost with what's really going on. You're going to miss out or misunderstand on what's going on. But if this is more of an investment, then yes, but I personally would prefer not to go with the derivative. I would prefer to stick to the actual thing. It's expensive, I know. If you prefer to go with the derivative because of that, it makes sense, but you don't try to read it from the derivative, if that makes sense. Always go to the source. Okay? Five is high. 5 is rather high, Judy. I'm sorry to say 5 is rather high. But look, you know what? Look at it this way. Look at this way. If you're going to have a correction and you're going to be able to retain the mindset of buy when the blood is in the streets, yes, please do. That's such a smart thing to do with that sort of company. If the outlook for them is 10, maybe even 15 years, Judy, this is chef's kiss. Okay? This is a chef's kiss asset. But you need to understand, your reading from the derivative is not going to be as accurate as you're reading from the source. Okay? Look at them. Those charts look very different for a good reason. Okay? So not always the derivative will work in a similar way. Okay? I hope that sort of gave you an idea of what I think about Rolls-Royce or their derivative here subsequently. Look, you're probably gonna have an opportunity to pick them at around, like, high 3s, right? Or 4s. I mean 4s obviously, right? But I think even high 3s, you're gonna be able to see that. That's my current projection for Rolls-Royce. So it's sort of in between, but it has a good outlook. It is actually a bullish asset. You see, it's gonna go through some turbulence because it's also affected by various forces that not just the energy partition of Rolls-Royce, but they are actually a good investment in my opinion. Solid, very solid. Judy, this is not, look, if you're an investor, this is not a good idea. Judy, Tom and I all the time tell you, what if I'm wrong? What if you're not going to have that opportunity? What if the conditions will change? No, stop thinking like this. Judy, you're not a trader. Stop. I wish I had Tom here to get mad at you guys. This is not the right approach. You're developing wrong habits. This is what Tom and I really get upset about. Guys, if you're a trader, you know what you're doing. You are not a trader. Don't trade it. Be smart about it. You don't have the mindset, the availability, it's better to lower your average by consistently buying at the lower price. Better, far better. For a person who's not trained, it's like, look, I understand you want to help save some people, but you're not a trained fireman. Don't go into the burning building. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Okay, I cannot give you that advice. Look, even when I used to work for institutions, right now imagine we're sitting on the phone and I'm there sort of actually directing you, giving you the right way of thinking. I would say the following thing. You shouldn't. That is the quickest way to end up how do you know you're going to be available then? How do you know something's not going to happen? Treat your money that you already put in the market as lost money. Never try to recuperate, jump trains. If you're a trader, that's a whole different thing. If you're trained for it, great. Don't develop these bad habits. It's only if the asset is really, really, really gonna drop and you're actually learning the tricks of the trade, if you will, if you're actually learning technical analysis, that gives you the ability to know, understand, and read when is the range to start buying in. And even we, the technical analysts, we buy in a range for a reason. We don't aim for a particular, a smart sniper doesn't aim between the eyes. Body mass. Be sure you do the job, so to speak. I see people are dropping off. They're not liking what I'm saying here. Okay. Let them drop. All right. Sorry it took so long, but yeah, that was a good one actually, Judy. That was not a bad one. I'm not all against the whole thing. I just don't like derivatives. I have a thing against derivatives. I'll, we can maybe talk about it one time. Derivatives are not, they're problematic. Anyway, let's go to Siri. Siri. What 6M holdings. Let's Nanny's give me a sec. I wanna take a look at this. Okay. So okay. Not really great, but good ish. There are some things I see. Um I looked at them before. Somebody asked. I think we looked at them. So they have some time. They've been in the industry. Public. What is that? 94. Okay. So are we three? We are. Give me a second. No, I'm curious. No. Yeah. It's okay. Um. So actually, mm, I hope you guys are not hearing. There's so much noise of children, kitchens and stuff. There's so much noise going in the background. I hope you guys are not. That stuff is not interfering with my audio today. Oh, as I said, it is a holiday evening here, so this is an interesting one. So if that was final. Oh, wait. Um. Mm, mhm. I'm curious. You know what? I'm actually curious about this one. That actually makes me curious. Okay, so yeah. Um. So obviously your following support is 1997. Call it 20. It's that one. You might as well call it 20. And you're probably gonna slide. You have your 15. Um, tell you what, yes, you're gonna have more downtrend, but let me see if I'm right. No, no, nannies, that's not great. That is not great at all. This ain't good. This ain't. So what you should. Let's talk about it in private. I'm sorry to do that for the rest of you. Nanny is a student of mine. I prefer to give her a breakdown of this. But again, similar to what I said to Judy, I don't think this should be one of those get rid of assets, but get ready to buy it on the lower end if you are prepared to hold it for a while. Because, yeah, it's gonna drop. I'm fairly sure it's gonna drop more towards that 20, but you probably will have an ability to do something more interesting with it before it has dry powder in the system, if you will. It has fuel in the system. It's not it's not as bad. Plus, you're gonna be picking up some dividends in the time being, so why not? Why not keep on picking up your dividends? You have your split. When was that? That was just recent. That was just recent. That was like a handful of days ago, I see. Right. Okay. Now, yeah, it makes sense also the post depreciation and everything. Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about it in private, but I do think it's more of a get ready to pick up more if you really think that this is a longer term hold. Well, okay, I need to scroll up a little bit. Sorry, boys and girls, it took me forever to get where I'm. Like, subscribe. Yeah, yeah, nannies. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that beautiful stuff. Greg, I don't think people are trying to get you to change your prediction. I think the people are asking if you have changed your position based on a recent faction. Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm thinking. But as I said, I keep on repeating, boys and girls, it will take a lot more of the market, a bigger stone to be thrown at the market to actually change my prediction on things. We can have, as we said, the market might not necessarily take the particular exit, but our direction based upon that doesn't change. It has to be huge, huge on a level that is hard to imagine almost, right? To actually change the direction of the market. If anybody here thought I'm getting upset, God forbid, not at all. Uh, I just want to explain that again, it will take something major for it to actually change. Christoph, probably. Yeah. Right. Wait, but what did Lucas say that I missed? No, I did Excel. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Lucas, you got your answer, I hope. Probably not here anymore. Lucas left. I'm just talking to myself. Fun. Um, I'm just curious about the shorter time frame given the geotension, the strike, etc. It seems as though we are looking to take a drastic downtrend versus gradual. No, Adam, that's the market likes to fake out these sort of things. It doesn't benefit the institution. Remember who's in control of everything, Adam. The institutions. It doesn't benefit them to take a drastic move unless they already unloaded. And people often say, "Oh, wow, you think they're conspiring?" No, when the interests align, you don't even have to conspire. They're just slowly unloading, and the market is so well conditioned and so well oiled that they're actually taking their time. Exactly, Adam. No, yeah, no, boys and girls, Christoph, Adam. I don't think anything changes. Sadly, it's the reality of the current condition is so bad that it will literally take some miracle magic powder to fix things. I'm sorry, like, and that's why I kind of make fun of it all the time. That's what we need Trump to have in order to fix things. Lucas, of course, you're here. Then at least I hope you got your answer. At least I hope you got to enjoy the answer, brother. Right. Michael Rosenberg, CCJ is another company for nukes. They not only mine uranium, they also have a large stake at SMR manufacturer. Sure, yeah, Michael. If you want me to look at them, let's. I think we've just looked at them the other day. No, if I'm not mistaken. I don't mind. Sure, there. Uranium is a good idea. We spoke about this. Uranium is a good idea always. Boys and girls, uranium, we're not done with uranium. In fact, we're getting more efficient. We're understanding how to work with this material far better, how to build everything safer. I still don't understand why instead of, making an effort with all the bullshit of holding all the uh, um, used up fuel, right? The radioactive material that we have afterwards, instead of just collecting it to a rocket and launching it into into the sun or something, right? You even like, oh, so much propulsion. No, just a little bit, and then let it float there the rest of the way, right? So instead of trying to bury it on Earth, I don't think it's a really good idea to try and bury it unless we have a solution, an actual application, right, to the to discarded and already used up fuel. Then I think the used up uranium and all that stuff. If we don't have a solution, I do think we need to treat it a bit differently. But I don't think we're done with it, anywhere near done. So yeah, I like uranium solutions, nuclear solutions that I think they're gonna still play a big role. So I like nuclear and uranium. That's my own kind of 2 cents about things. Let's just before we continue, let me just take a little bit of a look, if you don't mind. I just wanna see what's going on here. At first glance, it's already you're at a good place there. Who was it? Michael, I think, asked. It was Mike. Who was this? Michalis or Michael? No, Michael. Michael Rosenberg asked. Right, Michael. Michael, it starts to seem positive. It's kind of in the transition phase. If I'm not, I just see I don't have any surprises here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see. Yeah, sure. Let me just. Yeah. Okay. So look. Probably median of the channel on your monthly. Let me just see. Yeah. Look, you're gonna go down. You're gonna go down. It's not gonna be pleasant for. Thank you. You're gonna go down. It's gonna be, yeah, you're gonna go down, right? You're gonna test your median right here, and very probably at some point maybe even try to like it's gonna be sort of this way for you, right? But you will probably have a junction right here, somewhere around this area, right? Sort of transitioning with that support coming in, that you can start potentially picking up, right? Why? Because on the grand scheme of things, it's bullish. Like I said, all these companies right now are going through some pain. Yes, you see, even in between, you're gonna have so this is a trap. This is a lie. This potentially is gonna squeeze out and not make it all the way to the top. Maybe just squeeze right here, right below the 80%, right, and just start breaking down. So don't build on this, which will give you right here the resistance back down right there, which gives you about, what is that? It's like your 50s, 52 area, back to your 44 area. But once it's done with all the sketchiness, it's gonna pick up right here. So what you're doing is almost like this. Right? Just kind of, that's how it's gonna end up looking like. No fairy dust. That's the problem. There is no fairy dust. We don't have a magical solution. Like, guys, there is no. I mean, I'm saying that because look, all of these things can be resolved. The problem is every single one of them takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of luck. A lot of luck, because the world have not. Trump is amazing. With all his capabilities, we have not been in a situation like right now to expect them to. These dictators are or Johnson potatoes, or yeah, there are various words. Guys, shout out to the fat electrician. He's such a legend. All the dictators, wink wink, they're quite Johnsons. So as we said, the thing is, it's easier to deter them from doing something stupid, rather to make them stop doing something stupid that they're doing already. And it's not just geopolitical tensions that are creating the problems that we're having right now. A lot of the problems, yes, are directly an outcome from the geopolitical tensions. Correct. Yes, a lot of them. From tension to the Middle East, in the Middle East, oil, energy prices, subsequently the price of shipping. You still have oil affected by still OPEC related countries, still similar mindsets, still offended by the regional wars and whatnot. You still have Russia, Ukraine. You still have China in the entire Asian region, because let's be frank, it's not just China, Taiwan. China is threatening all of the neighborhood, if you will. Fishing, production, you just name it. There are so many various ways that the China are being assholes. So, to be objective, even if Trump succeeds, which we just still need to hope for, it will take so long for him to resolve all of these individual problems, if at all successful. And how fast? Like I said, it just literally requires some Santa Claus level magic or fairy dust or something, that because we can't. These sort of problems usually take a long time, a lot of back and forth, and more so the ripple effects often don't fix themselves. We also have now to pay a lot of attention to the ripple effects and fix them individually. Any more dips on Palantir? Actually, you know what? I haven't checked Palantir today. I kind of forgot about Palantir today. Oh, what the hell is that? Something is wrong with my brain today. Obviously, I'm writing tickers incorrectly. Being a moron. I'm being a moron. So great. Now the same levels that we spoke about. Nothing has changed. Let's give me a sec. I need to open it. Different setup. I need this one. Why am I being stupid? Let's just go here to Palantir. No, why am I doing Apple? Apple's doing the same boring nonsense, so it's boring. Palantir, thank you. What happened? I think my cat might have walked on over my keyboard. Those who wonder, have still one cat. Yes, still have one. Had two of them. Well, had more, but yeah. I'm like a cat lady, but not really a lady. Last time I checked. Yeah. So as we said, 36.64. Still, give me a sec. Let's just look at this. No, nothing has changed. We're squeezing the whole thing. We're slightly behind the indices. Here it is. We're just about to finish it up on the weekly at least. The monthly has been squeezing to death already. We're kind of waiting for the market to collapse the individual assets. So no, all in all, we're still testing that same resistance. This is phenomenal, actually. I mean, we still can end up testing this, but I'm going to be so surprised, or this one, because actually those are all three different steps. This is not possible. This within itself is going to be some effed up miracle. I said the higher end resistance right now is 40. Call it 40, right? It's 40 and 40.37. So next level is somewhere around here. It's kind of like that. But no, I don't see that happening no matter what. I'm so sorry, but that thing is not going to happen. So yeah. Our current range is that 36.04, 36.64, right? And the momentum is indicated, it's burning. It's just, it's already burning up. And those who are familiar to what's going on right here, we already have our indicators starting to structure from the top. And those who are like, oh, that's bullish. No, that's horrible. That is freaking horrible. Those who know. So, yeah. It just takes a while. It just takes a little while because remember, this is quarterly. We just basically started the new quarter, 2 months and 30 days to go. So we just started all that wonderful stuff. So be patient. That's that. Pum, 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 pum. We've covered Palantir real quick. sorry. Let's see, I didn't miss anything. Thank you for the grand reminder, DCA method, and staying the course. Yes, nannies, yes, it's so true, boys and girls. That's not always the solution to be jumping in and out. Tom and I are far more in line that a lot of people realize. The jumping in and out method or balancing your portfolio is for the people who understand how to do this. It's highly not recommended trying these sort of things when you are really not proficient at doing these. You're gonna end up very, very miserable. No, just one wrong turn and kaput. I need to bring that back to SPX, if you don't mind. No, that wrong chart. Same clubs, yeah, sure. Is that, yeah. Right, so. Where were we, boys and girls? Yeah, we're talking about the DCA method. Okay, why did you retreat your message? I didn't get to it. I'm sorry. I'm so slow today. I'm so sorry. We covered that. Good because yeah, we've covered that. Absolutely. Any more in Ipsum Palantir? We've covered that. Okay. CCJ, another company. We've covered that. Greg's Patreon, $10 a month. Absolutely. Link is in the chat. Thank you, nannies. Appreciate it. Has military contracts. Ooh, I like military contracts. You all know that. Military contracts is sexy. Very sexy. We said that. Yeah, no, you shouldn't. Military contracts is very sexy. We like military contracts. Military contracts is like the hot girl who's everybody trying to impress, right? And a lot of people underestimate, like, oh, that's already a given. It's this, that, and it's like, no. This is not a given. If you have a military contract, it is chef's kiss. This is exactly what we like to see. Governmental business. It is mwah. When the asset is when the company is in bed with the government, it is wonderful. Eugene, why are you upset with me? You try to hurt my feelings? No, Gene, I never try to hurt your feelings. I love you. Are you kidding me? You're one of my favorite students. All my students are good. I love them all, but but you're one of the crazy good ones. That's for sure. Lucas, you're here. We said, yeah, I am. I love you. Thank you, Greg. Like you knew what's coming. Still 16 dedicated subs here. Absolutely. We have definitely. I see people jumping in and out. There's a decent amount of dedicated people here. I also realized that maybe it's a problematic time. I know a lot of Jewish people right now are at family gatherings and whatnot. I also did this one just kind of in between because I'm not gonna be doing the market close today because I'm gonna be away. Hang out with my family and stuff. But can you speak about Palantir? Because it keeps going up and having new highs. Those are not new highs, Michalis. Those are new highs. It's the same resistances. And originally I said Palantir is bullish, but if you're objective, you realize we're moving in a channel and some days we can squeeze out a little bit more momentum, and really it's not having new highs. I mean, this is not a new high. This is a lower high already. But what you're being too hyper focused on is this point. Don't look at this as a range. And yes, you will have exceptions, right? You will have exceptions such as this, and even these locations. Overall, the channel is far more narrow, right? And you shouldn't rely on these happening. Oftentimes you might get locked in and dragged through the bottom, have just one quick rally that's going to be happening pre-market, post-market, and continue dragging the bottom. You shouldn't rely on these things, especially very easily creating some form of head and shoulders right here. Very, very suitable. You need to understand that the problem with Palantir, it's a very tiny asset. It's like trying to attack a tsunami with a bucket of water. Okay? You can't. It's not gonna, eventually if the tsunami hits, it's just gonna get submerged with everything else. So it's not really making new highs. It's just getting ready slowly to. You see, if you want to try and determine the exact moment on which it's gonna run out of momentum, right, and take the risk to try make it to the next gas station, be my guest, no problem. But if you don't make it, don't blame it on me, so to speak. Right? Don't blame anything on me either, really. Everything is your choice. And understand the anxiety saying, well, Greg, you keep on saying it's going to go down, but it's not. Right. These processes take a while. Just this process of the curve flattening, right? Just this process since we've started. The recent one, just that within itself took 19 days until now, and it might proceed for 19 more days. We don't know. All in all, what it does by doing this is transitioning from that range of the channel to that range of the channel. You see this, right? You see what happened? It's just there is no way for it to do so. But the thing is, we're just only on 4 hours. But if the range on the, even if it's an uptrend, right, on larger time frames, even if it's an uptrend, what the problem is, even on an uptrend, the bottom of the channel gives you about 26, 25. That's just the bottom, not including the fact of the matter that by when you get there, when you start moving, you have a whole different channel working against you. So you see? Yes, I am buying. I already have 2200 as triple Q, and I am planning to buy more. Actually, I should probably look into doing it maybe this evening. Thank you for reminding me. I answered. All right, Kay. I answered. Awesome. Yeah, I said my target is around 4,500 S triple Qs, so I'm planning to get even more of them. So yeah, that's that. Where is my other chart I'm looking for? I'm looking for here. This one, yeah, right. I was on Palantir one, of course. Switched over. Right. Nope. Damn it. Right. We were here, right? Yes. And here. Right. Right. Gene's upset at me with son of one man. Now we've covered that. Yeah, all right. Looks like no fairy dust. Dictators, all the taters. Casey, yeah, absolutely. The truth of the matter is these issues don't just start now, and it doesn't matter which politician is actually true. Gene, very correct. Although we do think that Miss Stowe will make far more of a problem. Okay, we do know she's not great. When to do the hard thing and actually fix. Right. Look, Gene just raised such a good point. Gene says none of them want to do the hard thing and actually fix the issues. Right, because when they do the hard thing, they cause more pain to the system, and they don't want to be associated with pain. So they end up kicking the can down the road. It's like, a new kid that hides another sandwich in the drawer. At this point, the entire drawer is just full of rotten sandwiches. Spending out of control. Look, again, if you're looking at the Fed's balance sheet, for example, Gene was very attentive. Shout out to Gene here. I was saying how the Fed are, you have QE with QT happening at the same time. So it's bullshit. We know that energy is likely to go up. We know inflation is not really being stifled. We know we need to go negative for a handful of years. Going negative, yes, potentially in the short term will improve prices, but will also create such conditions that nobody can allow themselves anything. Right? It's like you are. What do you prefer? Things to be expensive, but you can actually buy shit, or things are cheap, but you cannot afford to buy anything? What do you really prefer? Right? Choose your flavor. Absolutely. No, Gene raised here a perfect point. More than one term to fix. Yeah. You know what the sad thing is? Trump is so efficient, and there are so many solutions, from cannabis to tariffs to so many things. Trump can put the gears on, the pedal to the metal on, if you will, and subsequently actually make these things happen in a single term. But they will swallow his entire term, and that will bring about so much pain that people will associate him with pain instead of gratitude. A bunch of Remember, a person is smart. People are psychotic, unstable, irrational, and a whole bunch of other unpleasant stuff. People. A person is smart, no doubt about it. A person can be very smart. The government spending is out of control. To solve that, you need to make hard decisions, cut spending, raise taxes. Yes, yes, Gene. I mean, taxes. Well, there are ways taxes. Yeah, you have to raise taxes. Just that not necessarily as inflated as Miss Kamala is saying. Correct business practices. Correct. Yes. Instead of less red tape, less bureaucracy, especially in places where it doesn't help. Cut taxes and increase spending. Well, subsequently, yes, but not cut taxes right away. Why are you so positive on Plug? I'm not extra positive on Plug. I just think that there's a good play there to be had. Although I didn't like how Trump spoke about hydrogen the other day. It made it sound all very dangerous. I just think it got pummeled very, very low, and I'm looking at the technicals. It seems like there is a very good structure there being built up. And in general, I'm a big fan of hydrogen, so I don't see an issue. And I actually think that hydrogen and potential will have slowly a nice pickup. Now, doesn't mean it's something that I plan on investing and staying for the long run. I just think that there is a nice swing there to be had. So I'm picking up a little bit of Plug here and there. I haven't bought yet more, but I probably should be. Probably should be buying more. That's just the truth of the matter. It's not something I'm planning to play to long term. Um, we answer this. Never financial advice. Absolutely. This is not financial advice, boys and girls. You do you. Nobody will manage your portfolio the same way you will. So you rely only on yourselves. Listen to everybody, but rely on yourselves and make your own decisions. Tom, Greg, and Mods will not initiate DMs. Anyone contacting you about brokerages and Bitcoin is a scammer. Very correct. Again, shout out to Nannies. She's 1000% correct. Be very attentive. We will not reach out to you with any nonsense of that sort. Michalis, you mean 4 or 5, not 4 or 5, not 4 or 5K, not 100. What are we talking about? 4 or 5K on what? What exactly? Drilling will help. Yeah. Vance is very smart. He proved that last night. No, Vance is very smart. Vance proven himself to be smart many times. Vance, I didn't expect Trump to come up with Vance. Out of out of nowhere. I really had no idea that Vance was even a consideration. I didn't know, but I was highly impressed. Once, of course, he was announced and he appeared on my radar and he started speaking, became more vocal, more public. I was highly impressed. I don't think I've heard JD speak nonsense even a single time. Not a single time. Yeah, yeah. Very, very true, boys and girls. Oh, Vance, very impressive, very intelligent, very well, very eloquent, very well spoken. Very stoic at the same time. Still projects that seriousness, sort of vocal but stoic at the same time. Very impressive, very, very, very impressive personality. Again, I'm very happy Trump chose him. I think it was a very good choice. All right. Well, boys and girls, looks like we ran through everything. All of you who are new here, there are links to our Discord and Patreon in the chat, and it will be in the description after the video is done. I would tremendously appreciate those who drop into the video when the videos are done and just comment and all that stuff to help with the crazy algorithm and all that. I tremendously appreciate all that stuff. And like and subscribe, if you're not, ring the bell, make sure you will be notified. That way you'll be able to join every time we go live. And that's that. Sure, guys. No, thank you. Boys and girls, I am not kidding when I'm telling you that you really helped me sort of, lose track when if I get too caught up in my own mind, I end up thinking about all the unpleasant stuff that's going on and all that. So you guys are awesome. I mean, you are a great community in terms of support and all that, but more so you're really helpful in terms of how you guys help me pass the time, and in terms of emotional weight, the whole stuff that's going on. You guys are a tremendous help. I cannot thank you enough, all of you. Yeah. Please come back and comment, boost the channel, show Greg the love and the love he deserves. Nanny, you are a magician and the best moderator on the planet. Period. You are just a blessing to me. Thank you so much. But yeah, I agree. Don't forget to come back and leave a comment or something at the end. It really helps. That's it, boys and girls. This is gonna be the last live for today. I will go live tomorrow. Today I will take off and go rest. I'm sorry for all my students that I postponed the sessions this week. It's just that I'm a bit overwhelmed with everything, and I'm gonna be straightforward with you as always. Emma was just. I still feel. I feel like this whole thing is just draining me consistently, and I really just need to. I don't know, reset, if that makes sense. Because I feel out of focus. Usually, as you guys know, I can juggle multiple things at the same time. Right now, I get distracted very, very easily for some reason. And again, I'm just going to be straightforward. I blame it, and I think it has to do with all the recent events. And so I prefer to reset and not half-ass or give you sessions that are not 100%. That's that. But yeah, next week, at least I believe next week is going to be completely normal and regular. We're going to have a Zoom call tomorrow as well with Tom as well. Don't forget, look at the schedule. The schedule was slightly adjusted, but just by a tiny fraction. Usually it doesn't, I don't think it's going to change permanently, but we will be attentive to the schedules. That way you will always be up to speed when we have the calls. That's it, boys and girls. All of you have a wonderful afternoon, evening, maybe morning, whatever you have, wherever you're at. Surreal times, my friend. Yeah, definitely surreal times, Shobi. I agree. But hey, I get to pass them with a great community, with great people such as yourselves. So I mean, I'm definitely not complaining. But yeah, surreal times. Anyway, boys and girls, I will see you on the next one. You all have a wonderful evening, and that's it. See you on the next one. Bye for now.